Hi, this is Sherry Mumford with Stamping at Last. Today's video is a tutorial on the Little Treat Box. There's a new bundle that came out in the August-December mini catalog. It is called Little Treats Bundle. So it consists of the Little Treats stamp set and the Little Treat Box dies. So the first one I did, you'll probably recognize these little houses. My last video was a card using this set. Now that included the Coming Home bundle. I used the Home Together dies, and I used the Designer Series paper to cut out the little houses and the trees. The Trimming the Town Designer Series paper. So that's how I made this one. I did use the Ho 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 Merry Christmas from the Little Treats stamp set. And I did use the little tag die from the Little Treat Box dies. And then this die set has the die that cuts out this little box. This is so simple to make. I used Pool Party cardstock to make this. I used the dies to cut out little trees and houses. You notice I put a tree on each side. I used this tag from this die set and glued a little tree on it and then cut out some houses. So that was very easy, hardly took any time at all. Now this one, like I said, when I did the card last time, I love this little Volkswagen. This Volkswagen is part of the Coming Home stamp set. So I stamped it and then I used the die to cut it out. And the paper I used for this is the Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper. So there's so many flowers to choose from. It was kind of hard. I kind of narrowed it down to these two, but I did end up using this one. And on the back, I even fussy cut a couple little flowers to put on the back of it. And then the stamp, especially for you, that greeting is part of the Little Treats stamp set, especially for you. So the one we're gonna make for this video is in the catalog. On page 70 of the catalog, it shows this one. This could be used at a wedding reception, and I thought this was so beautiful. Really, looking at this picture is what kind of sold me on this set. And it's going to be so easy to make. I haven't made it yet, but I could tell by I kind of figured out what dimensions and everything to use. So I did not design this, of course. It's in the catalog. Stampin' Up's design team designed this. But we're just going to look at the picture and figure out how to do it, and we're going to make this specific one. So these are the materials you're going to need for the Little Treat Box. This Designer Series paper is called Peony Garden. And we're using this one. This looks like the one that they used in the catalog. Kind of see there. Looks like the same design. That's what we're going for. So you only need a 6x6 piece of paper. So the 12 by 12 cardstock, you could get 4 boxes out of one piece of not the cardstock, the Designer Series paper. You'll need a piece of Mossy Meadow, 6 by 1 1/4. This is for the band that goes around. Then a piece of gold foil paper, 1 1/2 by 1, right there under the greeting. And then the greeting, thank you for coming, that piece of paper, that white piece of paper is 1 1/4 by 3/4. And I went ahead and stamped that with this Little Treats, thank you for coming. Then you need another piece of gold foil, 1 1/4 by 3/4. And for this, you really don't have to measure it out. If you have a little piece of scrap gold foil, I wouldn't cut it, I would just use it. It's for this ring right there. So I'm going to pull these dies out because we're going to need 2 of them. Oops, the big one. And then the ring. So those are the 2 we're going to use for this Little Treat Box. The first thing I'm going to do is run the treat box through the die cutting machine. And you kind of angle it on this paper. If you're using paper with a design that's not kind of haphazard, like if there's words or design that needs to be a certain direction, you need to be real careful how you place your die on the paper. But I like this because it doesn't matter where you put it, it's going to come out okay. So I'm going to tape this down and I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine. This die works really well. It just comes right out. Okay. Now I'm going to take that little piece of gold foil, that 1 1/4 by 3/4, and I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine to cut out this little ring. That is so cute. I'm going to go ahead and fold along the score lines of the little treat box itself. Now, to put this together, there's a little slit. This tab goes right into that slit on both sides. Now, when you put a little ribbon in there, it will hold it closed. But on mine, I went ahead and put a little bit of glue. That way, when someone opens it to get the treat out, it doesn't fall apart. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here and close it and make sure it's even. Now I'm going to do the other side. So there's the box already. Now we're just going to decorate it. On this mossy metal, we're going to score it so it'll wrap around there rather easily. I'm going to score it on this because some of the measurements are in 1/16. So the first score is going to be at 1 1/4. One and a quarter. The next one is 2 1/16. So it's the first little mark right after 2. The next score is at 4. And the last one is at 4 13/16. So now 4 3/4 would be 12/16. So it's the first little line right after 4 3/4. So that's 4 13/16. Now I'm going to fold on the score lines. And before I put any adhesive, I'm just going to test it out to be sure it looks like it's going to go okay. It looks like it is. I'm going to go ahead and put the gold foil 1.5 by 1. I'm going to center it in this middle rectangle. Now, I've already stamped "Thank you for coming" on this white piece of paper, this white cardstock, 1 1/4 by 3/4. So I'm going to adhere that right to the center. I'm going to use some double-sided tape for this, just because sometimes when I glue stuff to the foil paper, it kind of slides around more than I would like. So I'm going to use the double-sided tape. I'm going to be careful because this is hard to peel up once you put it down, so I got to be real careful to try to get it centered. Now I'm going to wrap it around the box, and I'm going to use my white Tombow glue. That way, when I get to the back, I can make sure it's straight. Let me look at their picture and see if I'm kind of close to what they did. It looks pretty close. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue on it. Still made it slide. Oh, yikes. Okay. You see how quickly these would go together if you're making them for a wedding reception or birthday party or Christmas or whatever. I think that these are so gorgeous for a wedding reception. Now all we have to do is cut some ribbon and put that ring on it. Since I used gold for the ring, I'm just going to go ahead and cut 6 inches of this gold ribbon. In the picture, looks like they used some white string. So I'm going to put it through the slits. Okay. Then I'm going to put the ring on here, I think, before I pull it through. And I'm going to do a little tie at one time so this doesn't come untied. This ribbon is not quite It's kind of sliding a little, but that keeps it in place. So adorable. So there you go. That is just so pretty. So whatever occasion you might need little party favors for, this would be perfect and doesn't take much time at all. Thank you for watching my video.